Hey everybody, I'm here today to talk to you about steering with two hands versus steering with one hand. In this video, I'll be going over the differences of both types of steering and talking to you about certain advantages of each. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. Steering with two hands offers more control, okay? So obviously, when you have two hands on the wheel, you're gonna have more control. Now, you're not gonna have twice as much control just because you have twice as many hands. So, two hands on the wheel does not offer twice as much control as one hand on the wheel, but it does indeed offer more control because you do have more grip and more places of grip on that steering wheel. But one-handed steering offers more accessibility. So if you're steering with one hand, you're gonna have a little bit less control, but you actually have more accessibility, meaning you can adjust things on the center console, like your radio, your climate control. You can, grab your coffee and take a sip of your coffee or your water or whatever the case is. You can shift gears if you're driving a manual car. You can adjust anything over here with your additional hand if you're steering with one hand. So that's an advantage of one-handed steering. You have more accessibility. Two-handed steering offers better grip on the steering wheel. Now, it does indeed offer twice as much grip as one-handed steering, because if you are using one-handed steering, you're going to have one point of contact, and if you lose that point of contact, you have no grip left. Meaning, if your hand slips, you have no grip left. But if you're using two-handed steering, and if you have two hands on the wheel, then you have 2 points of contact, and therefore, if one hand slips, let's say this hand slips, I still have this hand to steer with, right? So it does indeed offer better grip, and two-handed steering offers twice as much grip as one-handed steering, obviously. One-handed steering allows you to shift gears. Now, if you're driving a manual car, then it's important that you know how to shift gears. And if you have two hands on the wheel, how are you supposed to shift gears? You can't shift gears with your knee or something like that, but you do have to use, one hand to actually shift gears while the other hand does indeed steer. So one-handed steering allows you to shift gears. Now, you can use like a hybrid, which is you have two hands on the wheel, you take one hand off and you shift gears, and then you bring that hand back on the wheel. So that allows you to sort of have the best of both worlds. Last but not least, two-handed steering is better for your posture. You see, if you have one hand on the wheel, your body is sort of at an angle like this, right? And if you straighten your body out, your shoulder is being strained ever so slightly. If you have two-handed steering, if you're using two-handed steering, your posture is going to be as perfect as it can be. You're going to be sitting nice and straight up. Your body's going to be facing the front. Your shoulders are going to be balanced. Everything's going to be balanced. And there's one more thing that I want to mention, and that is another additional advantage of two-handed steering. You have better access to the steering wheel controls. Now, in addition to the steering wheel electronic controls like cruise control and the volume up and volume down and radio controls and stuff like that, you also have better access to these levers on the sides of the steering wheel that are usually used for your windshield wipers and your turn signals and your headlights and stuff like that. So with that being said, if I have one hand on the wheel, I have to move my hand to access anything on this side, and then I have to actually switch hands to access anything on this side. But if I have two hands on the wheel, I can just use my thumbs like this, or I can use my hands to activate the levers over here. And that's basically it. There is one more thing that I want to mention, and that it's important to know how to drive and how to steer with one hand and two hands. Because if you want to be a versatile driver, if you want to be a great driver, you have to use one-handed steering from time to time and two-handed steering, from time to time. There are certain situations that are better with one-handed steering and certain situations that are better with two-handed steering. So just know how to use them both, and you'll be in the best possible situation, and you'll become a very versatile and great driver. And that's basically it. In this video, I've spoken to you about steering with two hands versus steering with one hand. I've gone over the advantages and the upsides of each of them, and I really hope that you've liked the video. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment, and of course, be sure to subscribe for more great car and driving videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.